Welcome to this week's episode of Humans in 5.
So we've established again and again that we're not just here as your loyal hosts, but we are closer and have known each other for longer than we care to admit.
Over the years, we spent a lot of time noticing similarities between ourselves, or having those similarities pointed out to us by other family and friends. These can include some little things like our shared tastes in movies and music, and a deep and abiding love of food and drinks.
It's not just shared interest that people have noticed, it's also shared mannerisms and gestures. We've both always been people who talk with our hands in an emphatic manner, or speak in a particularly excitable way. But we've also started to suspect that some of these similarities have only gotten worse the longer we've known one another.
We think we might be mirroring each other. Mirroring is a psychological term that describes the subconscious imitation of another person with gestures, behaviors, attitudes, or speech patterns. It's when we start to mirror the actions of another person without even realizing that that's what we're doing.
For example, as you may have noticed with your two presenters, not only do we tend to use our hands a lot, but the ways in which we use our hands have become more similar across the show's duration. We tend to emphasize points with downward motions and really work to bring you into our conversation as we're chatting.
These types of mirroring behaviors can also include facial expressions. We both had pretty strong eyebrow game growing up, but with the help of Lina and each other, it's only gotten worse over these past 2 years.
We're pretty aware that we're mirroring each other, but this subconscious action doesn't just happen between friends. As we grow up and become adults, we tend to mirror pretty much all the members of our family. Next time you find yourself at the dinner table with your relations, you may notice there's some quirks you share in common. These were never taught, you were never made to learn these actions, but lo and behold, a lifetime of being in each other's company has left us with some behaviors and gestures that speak to our family relations.
The way that we mirror people continues to evolve as our modes and means of communication change. For example, if you see a character you really love on TV regularly, you start to build an affinity with that imaginary friend. You may find yourself imitating their actions without even knowing.
The mirroring that we do is such a coherent part of human behavior that some research think they've even detected a mirror neuron. In humans and some of our closest relatives, it appears there may be some specific brain tissues that are associated with behavioral and physical imitation. Some parts of our brain seem to light up when we observe an action and then mirror it ourselves.
This leads to that good old-fashioned question: why do our brains do this? Mirroring may be one way that helps us build rapport when we're getting to know people as we go through our lives. We don't just mirror the ones we know best, we also tend to mirror strangers, new friends, and even people who might be interviewing us for a job.
The fact that this happens so often and we're so unaware that we're doing it just provides another example of how we're not always in the driver's seat when it comes to our actions. Sometimes our subconscious minds take the wheel and shape our connections with others. We may have no idea when it's happening.
We hope you're mirroring us at home, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe.